What's up, guys? Welcome to another interview, bodyhack.com. Today we're talking to Anthony Pereira. Anthony is a healthcare practitioner. He runs a website called whotrains.com, Trainer Be Trained. It's an online video series that brings awareness to the general public on the fundamental knowledge and applicable experience that trainers should have, and kind of showcases different trainers with different ideas and mentalities of how to get into shape. In this interview, you're going to learn a little bit about what you should be looking for if you're trying to find a personal trainer that's right for you. You're also going to learn why it's important that you select your personal trainer and not the other way around, like what happens at most commercial gyms. Now, we also talked about having no more excuses when it comes to getting into good shape, whatever that may mean for you, as well as the importance of stretching. But again, it varies depending on what your goals are and what you need to be able to do, whether it's for sport or for your own personal life. So anyways, guys, hope you enjoy this interview with Anthony Pereira, whotrains.com. Here it is. All right. Today we're talking to Anthony Pereira. Anthony is a clinical physiologist. He runs Achieva Fitness and Wellness, offering restorative care, personal training, and wellness seminars. He also runs Trainer Be Trained, a monthly web video series where users can vote for the best trainer and learn about a variety of different training styles. Anthony, how you doing, brother?
Not bad. What's happening?
Good. So can you tell us a bit about Trainer Be Trained?
Well, Trainer Be Trained is a video forum of different health and fitness professionals wanting to showcase and bring forth relatable video messages for the public. The name itself, Trainer Be Trained, I came up with it to try to invoke thought when people are training in any particular different realm or perspective, to ask themselves, do I train properly or do I still need to be trained? Well, you know what? It actually sits back and impresses that question to the trainer as well, because in anything that we do, we never stop learning, right? So ask yourself, do I train or do I still need to be trained to a certain degree? Care, what is that you do, right? It doesn't really matter what particular type of training perspective that you take on, whether or not it's for athletics, whether or not it's for just general upkeep, or whether you have a particular goal in mind, but we do care how you do it. We want to make sure that you're doing it properly, make sure that it's specified for you, make sure that it's unique, quote unquote, to your particular needs and wants. And then, so what it is that we're going to do is provide as many relatable means, right, for, to help you do so.
Okay.
More specifically, on our view and vote section of the website, every month we bring forth two particular trainers that we showcase in a sort of almost like a bio-type interview, where we show what it is that they do, why they do it, and the messages they wish to impress.
Okay.
And then to impress a little bit more public interaction, we have the voting system, where it is that after you finish watching the two trainers, you vote for the individual that you best associate with. And then at the end of the month, they become, the person with the most votes becomes trainer of the month, and then they go on against all the other trainers of the month to vie for trainer.
Okay, so Anthony, what motivated you to start Trainer Be Trained?
Okay, so basically what happened is that as a healthcare practitioner, or anybody that basically cares about helping the end user or the client or the patient, I think you really have to focus on not just their reactive care, but more importantly, their proactive care. How do we actually keep them from coming in and presenting, the particular issues and problems that they have in the first place? And of course, you can sit back and tell them, you need to be a little bit more proactive in your approach. But a lot of people in this day and age, they're not really enchanted with, the concept of actually taking measures to be healthy. They just find that either A, it's too cumbersome, or they don't have enough time to do so. But they are, fitness is a little bit easier for people to sit back and embrace, in the sense that, number one, the rewards are a lot more pleasing, and I think that they are a lot more embraceable, and they're easier to ascertain, I think, in the sense of, you can go on the 30-day this, or you can go on the 60-day this, or look what I achieved in just a month, right? And so if we sit back and we look at, if you embrace fitness from a proper perspective, right? It can not only be good for your standing health, but also your long-standing health as well too. Mm-hmm. But of course, when it comes to fitness, it comes down to the educators or who are basically teaching measures of fitness. So our attention has to turn to, right, the fitness professionals. Now, there are a wide array of different professionals and, of course, a wide array of different mentalities, some that do and some that don't. But I'm not really going to focus on that. I'm just going to focus on the individuals that I think not only embrace a nice measure of foundational experience, empirical experience, but more so underlying with a strong denominator of passion for the individual. Why do you do this? Not because I like working out, not because, well, it's easy. You know, I really care about helping people. I want to better people's lives, not just the lives of my clients or whatever like that, but as many people as possible. And so that's why it is that I basically started this, in the sense of like, you know, how do we reach as many people as possible, right, to let them take their fitness into their own hands, right? Why do you do what it is that you do?
Yeah. I remember friends of mine telling me they had gone to see certain trainers at certain gyms, and they'd be expecting the trainer to be watching what they're doing and coaching them through everything, but the trainer would be like on their cell phone sending text messages and stuff like that. So there definitely is a bit of a gap between like the trainers that really care and the ones that are just there to make money or whatever it may, pick up girls, whatever it may be, you know. Mm-hmm. So what have you learned through running Trainer Be Trained?
The most important thing is that, you know, like I was a little bit frustrated initially when, of course, you know, like I got out of school and I was like, ooh, I want to change the world. And, you know, I want everybody to be healthier and, you know, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to teach everybody to be healthy and to take measures of their health and fitness into their own hands and whatnot. And it's not to say that people are lazy. Yes, there are certain people that are lazy. Yes, there are certain people that just don't know what to do, or they're scared, or they think that it's, you know, like too involved to take measures of fitness and health into their own hands. But what I have found through doing this, because I approach and deal with so many different mentalities and ideologies, is that there's a person out there for everybody. Take me, for instance, right? If you're in front of me and you're like, bah, 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 and you're very aggressive and you have that da, da, da type of personality, I'm going to want to take a step back. And a lot of people will feel the same way. But then there's a lot of people that need that, right, to get them motivated, to get them hyped. There's a lot of people that are out there that are like, you know what? You've never had a baby before. You don't understand what it means to basically go through what it is that I'm going through. You don't know what it is that I'm going through. I have to go to school 16 hours a day, then I have to go to work or whatever. How can you possibly understand what it is that I do when all you do is work 10 hours a day? How do you sit back and relate to me knowing that I've been overweight for all of my life and nothing that I do works? Who are you to tell me? Mm-hmm. Who are you to basically sit back and tell me how to work out when, you know what, yeah, you eat your protein, you eat your meat and all that stuff, and I'm a vegan and I want to do it my way, and you're telling me, well, to do it your way, right? People want to feel who it is that they're sitting back and dealing with. And the more people that we have and the more people that we present is the more feedback that I get. Hey, you know what? I never knew that there was a person like that out there for me. And that's one of the biggest lessons that I've learned, is that there are people there just waiting, right, to be conjoined, right, or aligned with their particular type of professional, right? And once again, as long as the message, number one, is noteworthy in the sense they know what it is that they're talking about, and basically gives them that particular information that people can embrace, people are going to be a little bit more attentive. We all have filters to shift the sense from the nonsense, right? In the sense that, you know what, hey, you know what, that actually makes sense. Let me try that. As opposed to that, okay, I'll do it. No, and so basically, stroke those filters. And there's so many people out there or whatever that basically are just waiting for that professional that they could resonate with. Mm-hmm. And that's just added incentive for me to keep on doing what it is that I'm doing, because every month, as you see, the mentalities and the ideologies are so very different. I had like a martial arts instructor, the month before. I had an individual that basically trains dogs, like the month before and whatnot. Right? And people want to know that. People want to know that there's different mentalities and there's not just one set way of doing it. Right? I don't have to look like that. I don't have to eat like that. I don't have to have a mentality like that. Right?
Yeah. It's not one size fits all.
Exactly.
Okay. I've noticed that as Trainer Be Trained has developed, more and more trainers are getting involved from more and more cities. What future plans do you have for Trainer Be Trained?
Well, like I said before, there are so many different, mentalities out there. But more important, there are so many different people that are sitting at home, right, that basically they want to be involved in fitness in some way, shape, or form, but either A, they don't feel that fitness is for them because what they're reading or what they're hearing does not align with their thought process, right? Or they just feel that they can't do it because it's like, you guys don't understand my position. You don't understand my position. And so once again, if they are outstretched in different parts of, like, let's say, for instance, Canada or the province and whatnot, then guess what? We want them to know that there's a trainer that's very relatable in their particular area. Because while the video messages are good and while the online thing is good, sometimes at the end of the day, if you invoke, their enthusiasm that much, sometimes, hey, it's like it turns into, I've tried this at home now, I've tried this on my own now, and you know what? I'd actually like to go meet this person. I'd actually go like to employ this person. And so once again, it would be very nice to know that they're within reach. Right? So it's like, how do we connect the trainers with the individuals as well too? Right? So the whole thing is, when people call me up, they're like, hey, you know what? I'm visiting Barrie. Do you have a trainer up in Barrie? I'm visiting Guelph. I really like the mentality that you guys have with your showcase or whatever, with all the different trainers that you post for. Do you have a person in Guelph? Of course I do. Do you have a person in Bracebridge? Of course I do. Check this person out. And if this person or whatever like that can't help you, or if this person or whatever like that does not focus strictly on, plyometrics, or doesn't strictly focus on weights, talk to them, because you've already sat back and know the type of mentality and the underlying denominator that they have, and they might be able to recommend you someone that's very like-hearted. Not like-minded, but like-hearted as well too.
Yeah.
So I basically want to reach not only as many people as possible, but as many trainers as possible, so people have access to them.
It actually reminds me of, those websites, I think one is called Homestars, but it's like a website where you go to it and you see all the general contractors in a given area, and then there's ratings for each one, and people post reviews of, I hired John to come to my house and do this, and he did a great job, or whatever. It's almost like you're doing that for trainers, to help people out in a way.
Yes and no. And the reason why I sit back and I say that is because what we're doing is a little bit deeper than that. Because take, for instance, when you sit back and you're like, okay, well, what type of trainers do we have on your show? Of course I'm going to sit back and I'm going to say good trainers. But what differentiates a good trainer from a not-so-good trainer? It's like in any particular vocation or profession. It's a mix of cognitive, right, experience. Do you know what it is that you're actually doing? Right? Do you have the foundational skills and foundational knowledge to be doing what it is that you're doing? And then what else do you bring to the game? More so importantly, empirical experience, right? Stuff that basically you've tried and tested over the years, you've failed at it, you've excelled at it, you've revamped it, but then also, as the years go by, you adapt, right? You adjust and whatnot, right? And it's a combination of two, right? Because experience and education and knowledge alone is not just based on theory, because you can know as much as possible and you go to apply it and womp womp, right? Or you sit back and you don't know enough theory, but because you've been in the game for 25 or 30 years and my way is tried, tested, and true, you might be doing the wrong thing over and over and over. So it's a nice mix. So basically, when you sit and you see the questions that are answered in the script, not in the script, but in the videos per se, there's like about 5 different segments in each different video, and it's based off of a question that the trainer had answered previously. And all these questions are based off of, it's like Bloom's learning theory, right? So there's 3 sections in regards to cognitive assertion, right? Where basically we assess their knowledge. Then there is affective, right? So basically like what are your values, your beliefs, right? And what are your thoughts of like what it is that you do and what you want to impress. And then, of course, your psychomotor, which combines the 2 particular processes. So people will understand that, or people don't really need to know that. But when we're answering these questions and people are seeing the particular videos and they're like, hey, you know what? You touched on so many different aspects. It's because all the stuff that they post forth is based on those particular questions, right? So you're not just getting a particular good individual, you're getting an individual that's sitting back and letting you know not only what they do, why they do it, right? And then, of course, like what it is that they wish to impress as well, too. So it's not just a video resume. Hi, I'm John. I'm from da-da-da-da-da, and I train. No. Why? And those questions should be sufficed before it is that you even approach, right? Sitting back and approaching a trainer.
Okay. Why do you think there are a number of trainers who don't meet a high standard of education and knowledge?
Once again, I'm not going to focus too much on the trainers per se. I'm going to focus, once again, on more so from a generalized perspective in any particular vocation. Right? So take, for instance, that you ever walk into a particular department store and you're looking for something and you approach a salesperson, you're like, hey, can you tell me about the da-da-da-da-da? And then they give you that blank stare like, I don't know. Dude, I'm in your store. You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean you don't know? Like, you know, like you're working here, so why is it that you can't help me or whatever? Then you approach another individual, and that individual will not only tell you where it is, what you should get, but a couple of different options, and if you have any more problems or whatever like that, feel free to come back to me again. They've been working there, right, for the same amount of time. They're being paid the same, right, amount of money. What's the difference? It's the underlying motivation. Why did you get into this particular field, aspect of vocation in the first place? And that's not for us to sit back and decide, nor is it for us to sit back and discern. But what is the onus that we have is to sit back and ask questions in the sense of, hey, so why do you do what it is that you do? Can you suffice not only my needs, but my wants, right? Let's say, for instance, that we each go and we take a 2-year program. Now, I get into your vehicle, and before I get into the passenger seat, I've got to move a bunch of books, right, on physical anatomy, physiology, understanding the mentalities of, you know, a workout person. I go to your house, on your coffee table, all you see are magazines, right, focused on what? On your vocation, on your love. There are people that do things, right, from a part-time perspective. There are there are people that do things from a full-time perspective. What is your underlying passion and motivation? What do you want from this? What do you want to achieve? You'll know if you ask the right questions. You'll know if you sit back and look for the right things, right? And once again, the onus is on us. We have to take more, right, of an individualized approach in the sense of, when that mechanic comes out and says, okay, well, it's $265, but I thought it was only supposed to be $69.99. Well, it's $265. You don't really need to know or whatever like that, but it's $265. What? No. I need to know why it's $265. You don't make that much fuss for a vehicle, but when you do that with your body, think about it.
Yeah.
Think about it. Who cares about the professional? We have to take the onus to find out who it is that we're dealing with and why it is that we're dealing with them. Once again, why it is that I find it so very important to post forth these particular videos in the way that they are so people can sit back, put it into their filter, shift the sense from the nonsense and be like, you know what? I like what that person said. Or I didn't really agree with that. Let me ask them a little bit more question to help suffice, you know, like whatever it is that I have left in my life.
Okay. As a personal trainer, can you give, you know, someone that's looking to hire a personal trainer but hasn't really done anything yet, can you give them some advice on things to look out for? Like, if you just meet with a personal trainer, do you just hire them like that, or is there some questions that they should ask, anything they should know beforehand?
Well, people ask me that like all the time, and the first question I ask them is, what do you want? What do you need? Okay? I want, I think I'm in the mood for chicken parmigiana. I'm not going to go to a Chinese food restaurant, my dude. Even though they're a restaurant, and he can sit back and says, oh, no, I can make it. I have a recipe book, I can make it. Dude, I know exactly where I'm going to go for what it is that I want. Okay? If I want to learn a little bit more about biomechanics and physiology, right, am I going to go to a particular trainer that focuses strictly on weight loss? Am I going to go to a trainer that focuses strictly on, let's say, for instance, Olympic deadlifting? Know your particular wants and needs, but more importantly, know what it is that trainer actually does. If a trainer sits back and says that I can do all and everything, sure, they might do all and everything. But even a general physician or a GP, when you go into the emergency room and whatnot, and you come in with a particular fracture, okay, you're going to get seen by a general GP, right, who's going to basically try to address and deal with you as best as possible, at that particular time. But you're going to get a follow-up appointment to meet with a specialist. An orthopedic specialist, more specifically, that has more foundational, equitable, right, and presentable knowledge in that particular aspect where the fracture is concerned. Okay? Now, once again, of course, the term, being a master, right, at one as opposed to many. And that's what I really think that you should really focus on. What do you want specifically? If you want to increase your speed and athletic ability, I think that you should be working with a trainer as such. Not a trainer that focuses strictly on weight loss. I can help you lose 60 pounds and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Once again, they might be able to help you in that particular regard, but be a little bit more specific. Know what your needs and wants are, and know what that trainer specializes in. Start asking that trainer, what do you specialize in? And hear what it is that they basically say.
Okay. Do you think that it's important for a trainer to be in good shape themselves?
It's so easy to sit back and say yes to that question, but again, we have to define from a personalized perspective what is being in good. What does good shape mean? Because for me, being in good shape might be totally different even for you. For me, being in good shape means to be able to do all and everything that I need to do on a day-to-day basis without as little hesitation or restriction as possible. To another individual, being in shape means that you're cut. You're so cut. You got those washboard abs and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Being in shape to another individual might be like, oh my gosh, I don't want my legs to rub. Okay? So once again, you have to think about, number one, what does good shape actually mean? I have a particular trainer, and wow, I'm just impressed by her in so many different regards. But if you just took a standing look at her, you'd be like, wow, this trainer is a little bit overweight. But then you don't know that she lost almost 180 pounds. And she's consistently losing 180 pounds, right? So the thing is I think, number one, in any measure of fitness or health, it begins with mentality, in the sense of, number one, defining for yourself what does in shape mean, and then again, ask that trainer, what does in shape mean to them? Associate with who it is that basically you want to associate with. I'm not going to go sit back and train with a trainer that basically looks like he has 300 pounds of natural muscle because, that basically a trainer that basically looks like an Olympic bodybuilder. Because that's not the type of body that I want. That's not the type of in shape, particular type of physicality that I want. Right? So it's a personal definition when it means, in shape.
Okay. moving on a bit, can you tell us about your company, Achieva Fitness and Wellness?
So, Achieva Fitness and Wellness is my own corporation that I started. Achieva being helping individuals achieve health and wellness through education. But I don't even like to use the term education too much anymore nowadays because I think a better word would be awareness, right? Presenting information for individuals that basically they can digest, right? If it tastes good for them, okay? So outside of my day-to-day practice, where I work independently with individuals, I do community wellness seminars, I do corporate wellness seminars, corporate and community consultations, and Train to Be Trained is just another medium for me to reach as many people as possible. That's why I started the corporation, because outside of my regular day-to-day, I want to give back in some way, shape, or form to the people in the sense of, how can I provide for them as many embraceable and relatable messages of fitness and awareness? How can I teach this person to then go ahead and teach this person? How can I teach this person to go ahead and teach this person? And once again, Train to Be Trained provides a megaphone for a megaphone and a platform for those in the health and fitness professions that I find that really want to do above and beyond their own vocation. Right? They have the same exact mentality of like, you know what, while it's good working with my clients, how do I teach more people? Right? How do I reach more people? Because I have a message and I just want it to get out there. We live, as you see, more and more in a cyber age. So why not use these particular tools, even though sometimes they confuse the heck out of me and whatnot. But this is just another medium for me to reach as many people as possible. And I'm greedy. I want to reach everybody, right? So that's what Achieva stands for. It's just basically how do I reach as many people as possible with the tools that I have.
And what message would you say is most common that you're trying to give to people? Like, do you think there's like certain messages that are lacking in the fitness area that you're trying to push forward?
Why do I do what it is that I'm doing? Why are you doing that exercise? Because the book said so. Because the trainer said so. Come on. Individuality. Okay? Our society is becoming so dependent and despondent where people are walking around like, okay, well, the book said so, the TV said so, he said so, she said. What's your body saying? Mm-hmm. What's your body saying? Start listening to your body. It doesn't really matter if I'm approaching people from a health or a fitness perspective. I want them to start creating a more translated relationship with their body. Because at the end of the day, right, you are just going about and doing, and your body, right, is basically there to protect and maintain 24/7. You have a symbiotic relationship with your body. And in any particular relationship, it doesn't matter if it's professional, right? If it is familial or if it's intimate, the most important component is always going to be communication. Do you know what it is that your body's saying, right? Is your body saying that it's okay? Is your body saying that there's something wrong? That's health. Your body telling you what it can do and what it cannot do, that's fitness. Okay? Start listening to your body. Why do you do what it is that you do? And is it for you? If not, you got to be asking yourself. Yeah, you got to be talking to yourself a little bit more. So.
Yeah, digging in that area. Okay. You focus on restorative care, and I guess prehab and that sort of thing. Do you think that's often left out of people's training programs or whatever it may be?
Once again, it depends on the individual, right? It depends on the individual, what they want to achieve, what they, and are they giving a lot of thought into what it is that they're doing? Take for instance, the topic of stretching. right? Stretching is a really big thing, but it's very debatable because this person could say this and this person could say that. Once again, when it comes down to professionals, our job is to educate, bring forth awareness for people to either relate to and then hopefully embrace, right? And that's our job. Take, for instance, the topic of stretching. I can give you the theory of this and the theory of that, but then again, Trader 2000 could sit back and say this, right? A physio could say this, a chiro can say this, or whatever, right? So what I try to do is put forth, a presentable situation, okay? So our muscles, right, tendons and ligaments are striated fibers, okay, striated fibers, just very much like your hair, okay? So why is it that you comb your hair, right? To basically avoid knots and tangles, and in essence to make it more manageable, right? So the straighter or the looser, right, that your hair is the more, the more manageable, right?
Yeah.
Your hair is going to be. Once again, our muscles, tendons, and ligaments are striated. If they're knotted, there's going to be a little bit of what? Tension, right? It's going to be a little bit tight, right? If you are throwing, right, a ball, and you throw the ball like this, doesn't really matter how much biceps or how much muscles that it is that you have, right? You're not going to get that motion. You're not going to get that effect that it is that you want unless it is that you extend and use the particular limb or muscle to its full capacity or full capability, right? So the more range of motion, the more usage that you have of the muscles or of your limbs at the end of the day, you'll get better motion, better effect, or, hey, you're really strong when you threw that ball, right? Or better strength. Right, so once again, it's for us to sit back and, really impress upon people, right, as practitioners, as educators, right, when we have that particular role of, teaching people what to do, is to present them with tools that they can embrace, they can digest, and then choose to carry about, as opposed to just, okay. So I don't know if that question answered, I don't know if that response answered your question in full, but like I said before, I like to play advocate in the sense of, instead of just sitting back and approaching things from this perspective, to try to broaden people's horizons, to look at things from, like more than one, like different avenue.
Okay, yeah, I like that. So lastly, what are your future plans, and where can people learn more about you and what you're working on?
As far as Train to Be Trained is concerned, I think that right now, like, I have that no excuse type of mentality, in the sense that, you say that fitness is not for you because it's hard for you to, for people to relate to you when it comes to your fitness needs. No, not no more. Well, I don't have any time to do it. I don't have time to go to the gym. We have people for that. I don't have the other. No, we have people for that. No, we have people for that. What's the excuse now? No excuses, okay? But then the whole thing is, as you know, in any particular aspect, it doesn't matter whether or not you're looking at it from a fitness perspective, a health perspective, or just living perspective, nutrition, what it is that you put into your body, is so very vital to any goal. It's 80% vital. So I want to start focusing a little bit more so on nutrition. So I'm telling you, something is coming because we're going to basically provide you with no excuses when it comes to nutrition, right? So that's coming. That's definitely coming. And as for me and Achieva, everything that I do is, how do I just bring about more embraceable and relatable forms, right, of fitness and health and awareness for people to embrace. It begins with us, right? If we really think that there's a problem or an issue with people, being healthy or being fit, instead of complaining about it, let's do something about it, right? So anything that you see coming up from me or whatever is definitely going to be underlying. The message underlying will be, hey, we want you to sit back and look at this. Think about this. Right? And you can go to, of course, the Train to Be Trained website, www.whotrains.com. People want to find out who trains. You can go to my own personal website at achievafitandwell.com. And yeah, I'm here. Get at me. Whatever that you want.
All right. It was awesome talking to you, Anthony. Thanks so much, brother.
Not a problem, my dude. Not a problem.
All right, man. All right. Hope you enjoyed that interview. As always, to hear more, go to bodyhack.com. Click the link to the blog. And if you know anyone with a good story, maybe they lost a bunch of weight, maybe they really know what they're talking about, or they're doing some crazy thing that we'd probably be interested in, go ahead and send me an email, spencer@bodyhack.com. Until I see you guys next time, take care, have fun, train hard. That's it. Bye-bye.